Hey everybody, how's it going out there? Welcome to KP's Health Tip. So today's topic, intermittent fasting. I want to be clear before I get going here, everything that I give you as a health tip is just a suggestion. So with it being a suggestion, it's something that I've done through trial and error and have knowledge through putting myself through all this advice I give you. So remember that. This isn't information coming from a doctor or a dietitian or a nutritionalist. It's coming from me through trial and error. So if you know you have some certain issues when it comes to your diet and some of these decisions and suggestions that I'm giving to you, definitely connect with them for your specific needs. That being said, intermittent fasting. So you're all probably hearing about the different types of intermittent fasting. There's many variations of applying that methodology. Today I'm going to focus on the intermittent fasting that happens within a day. That's the one I practice. So intermittent fasting is an eating pattern basically with cycles between periods of fasting and eating. It doesn't specify which foods you should be eating, but rather when you should eat them. In this respect, it's not a diet in the conventional sense, but more accurately, it's described as just an eating pattern. So my take on this that I apply is usually 12 to 16 hours of fasting within a given day or a 24-hour span. So let me give you some ideas of how this would work for me. There's like I said, there's a lot of different patterns. There's the 16 to 8 method, which means 16 hours of fasting, an 8-hour window to eat. And remember, once again, it's a process. So you want to let like 8 to 12 weeks occur before you really start to notice some change in your body and how you feel. So my own practice, try to shut down eating, we'll say at 7 o'clock at night. And then I wake up sometimes 5, 6, but I usually don't eat until 8. So for me, I'm getting somewhere between 13 hours or more before I eat my first food of the day. So what's going on during that specific amount of time of, which is for the most part, sleep, you can call it fasting. So a large part of that duration of time you're sleeping or resting, so shouldn't be as hard as you may think. And some of the other things that I get for questions would be, hey, if I have some water, if I have some tea, a little bit of coffee, does that break my fast? I'm going to say no, as long as you're not dumping a ton of sugar and cream into the tea or coffee. I think if you keep it below like 50 calories, I think you're fine. But this pattern should be relatively easy once you get into the routine. It's all about routine and finding what works best for you. So some of the benefits that happen with intermittent fasting would be body weight and fat loss, increased fat burning, lower blood insulin and sugar levels, mental clarity, increased energy, inflammation reduced again, and what happens while you're fasting, you're going to probably go into a state of ketosis. And this word's been bouncing around for the last 3 to 5 years. So ketosis, a little breakdown on that. It's basically a state of your body while it starts to break down the fat after a certain amount of time goes on. So there's no more glucose to use as energy. So at that point, your body starts to burn stored fat instead. So can be really beneficial to tap into the fat storage that we have. Things aren't the way they were hundreds of years ago where we needed to rely on that fat as a source of energy. Now we just store it. So it's really smart to start fasting a little longer to tap into those stored fat that we all have. And then I get questions about what's the most important meal of the day. I'm not going to really touch that subject, but I'll touch on breakfast. And sometimes people forget what that word is. It's break fast. So you're breaking your fast after you've been sleeping. So This is the meal eaten in the AM. It's your first meal of the day. That's basically what breakfast is. So stretch that important meal to be a little later. Like when you wake up, this whole idea of, oh, I gotta eat immediately to have energy. We have the ability. I've been training for years aggressively out there, running, biking, swimming, and trust me, and I know our bodies are all different, but I've worked out and been able to not eat in the morning. But once I get going in the workout that I'm in, I usually let about an hour to an hour and a half, then I'll start eating some calories. So that's my take on it. And like I keep mentioning, this is just a suggestion. So use your own judgment. Try the intermittent fasting. Chances are it's going to help your well-being, make you feel better. Thanks for stopping by KP's Health Tip, Intermittent Fasting. Everybody have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Be safe, and as always, stay well.